under pressure. Oh.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Brad. And I am with my wife, Tiffany, the queen of my castle. She is love of my life. We are the authors of the Hustle and Flow podcast, and you can find this podcast anywhere that you download your podcast and you enjoy listening. And we are excited that you're here with us this morning. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning.
What's happening in your world?
Well, we just got back from vacation, and now I'm getting ready tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's right. To leave again. And it's not that we just jet set around everywhere. It's just the way things fell because,
okay.
You know, when we're today that we're talking, we're coming up on Memorial Day. And so we're going to our cabin, and it'll be my first time traveling 4 hours with a toddler. I've not done that in 25 years. Mm-hmm. So I need I'm going to have to get some tips and tricks from some of my friends that do that. But yeah, that's cool. So last week, we got to go to New Orleans, and
Big Easy. We
did, and so it's cool because we're going to talk about that for a second. But it's cool because it's gonna kind of tie in to memories, you know, and moments, which is what we're talking about today, is memories and moments. But New Orleans was great to me because I love New Orleans, and you do not love New Orleans. But you owed me a trip for memories and moments, because the last time we went to New Orleans, my memories and moments were that you did not want to be there, and I could tell you did not want to be there. You were hot. You didn't like New Orleans. You didn't like anything about we were there just for a short time because we were going to somewhere else. But and so you told me I'll make the trip up to you. I've got a makeup trip, and so it was actually supposed to be your birthday trip, but we went to New Orleans and did all the things. Was it better for you this time?
It was good. I'm still working.
Can you not get a little bit more enthusiastic about that?
I'm still working to embrace the love of New Orleans. I do like the Garden District is really nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Walking around, seeing those houses, they're really super cool. You know, we've seen it before, but the American Horror Story house is there, and then we were able to see where Eli Manning, Marchie Manning lived before. And then there's a place that we actually got to go eat this time, Commander's Palace. And
yes.
How did you like that?
I did like it. And if I was giving it a rating system, I would give it a 10 out of 10 simply because it checked all the boxes of my anticipation of going there. So I have the cookbook. And when I found the cookbook, like, I have read that cookbook. If people are listening that do not know what I do, food is what I do for a living. So we have a catering company, and we have dessert cafes, we have coffee shops, and I've been cooking my whole life, I feel like, and I've been catering since I was in my 20s, just off and on. So I bought the cookbook, and I don't have a lot of cookbooks actually, but I bought the cookbook, and I read it like you would read, you know, a book. I love the stories in there, and to me that's so important. So I had been reading the history of it for a few years now, but every time we go to New Orleans, I think I'm looking ahead in enough time to get a reservation, and I never do.
Because it's incredibly hard to get a reservation.
It is very hard to get a reservation.
Commander's Palace.
Yes, it is, and it's not because it's, you know, and it's not, to me, it's not the top end price wise, for sure, of you know, anywhere you could go, but it's just because of the rich history of it, and the food and all of that stuff. And so we got a reservation, crazy for 9:30 at night. That was insane, and we did not know how on earth we were going to stay up till 9:30 to go eat somewhere. We had planned to take a nap in the afternoon and all these things. Well, turns out I just happened to check the website, and apparently, you know, they call you like twice before your reservation, the day before, to make sure you're still coming. And apparently they release a couple of reservation slots if maybe they call somebody and they can't make it. So we were able to call and get that changed to 6 p.m. and that made the experience so much better, because I can't imagine how miserable it would have been for you and I, knowing you and I, to stay up till 9:30 to go eat and then have to be up, you know, to eat. So it was great. It was a great little trip. We did a ghost, voodoo, vampire 4-in-1 tour that was absolutely awful.
It was terrible.
I would have rather watched something on YouTube, a fake ghost, something on YouTube, or even just watch Ghostbusters, because it was just terrible.
It's New Orleans, and you think, all right, give me the folklore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just, I don't care if you lie to me. You know what I mean? Just give me lies. I just want to hear some crazy stories about New Orleans. But to be honest with you, the ghost tour that we took in Birmingham was 100 times better.
Yeah.
And So maybe there are other ones down there. If there's other you recommend, just tell us. Next time we go back, we'll check them out.
Yeah, please do. 'Cause I would not recommend this one. She even talked about voodoo, and she talked about the history of it, which is fine, good.
Right.
But she didn't even bring up the Marie Ledoux. What's her name? Ledoux. I just forgot her name. That's the perfect opportunity to tell me something about that, but she didn't. But anyway, we did make memories, and that was awesome because it was, we did some other things and we made memories, and we were in the moment, and that was what was important because that's what we're talking about today.
That's it. She introduced this, the subject. The subject today is memories and moments. And we want to tell you, at our age, the one thing that is important to us is making memories.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many funerals that I have been to. And I'll be honest with you, I hate hospitals and I hate funerals. I do not want to ever go. But eventually I'll have to be there. But I notice these slideshows that they make, and they roll these slideshows. And for me, that's the most emotional part, is looking back on somebody's life.
Right.
And so we made a point several years ago that making memories together was more important than having stuff. And I don't listen. If you got stuff, that's your deal. We're not judging that. Okay, we're just saying for us, we made a decision a long time ago that we may have a lesser house or lesser cars or not have stuff because we'd rather take that money, $500,000, whatever it is that you pay for cars and those type of things, and go do something to have a memory. Whether it is going to eat somewhere we want to go eat, or whether it's just taking off for a day trip and going to a waterfall somewhere, or doing something of that nature. And I think it's just important, taking time so that at the end of my life, and God forbid something happened to you before it happens to me, but I don't have to say, boy, I really enjoy this car. I can look back and say, man, do you remember when we went to New Orleans and I hated it so much? I hated it so much, but oh my God, do you see the smile on her face because she loved it so much? And that's a little emotional for me to even think about, but making those memories and creating moments is such a pivotal thing that I think that sometimes in society we just kind of forget. We put it aside, and it's too late sometimes to go back and try to recreate or make a moment or a memory.
Yeah, well, and I do think it's important. And so I think at our age, when people get older, they do start realizing that more and more. But, I hope today will be, anything that we talk about will just spark something, especially if it's, younger families and younger people, where can I clear out some of the busyness to make sure that I am in the moment and that I'm making memories. When we talked about a trip, and everything is not always about a trip. And we've had some great trips. We've had some memories that cost nothing but gas and lunch. I was thinking about, like you said, we've tried to structure our lives and scaled back and try to live below our means so that we can go do, we've went during the week on a weekday before down to, or maybe that was a weekend, I don't remember, but we went to Rodney, Mississippi. We walked all of the, that was an old thriving town, and we walked through.
It was the capital of Mississippi until the river was diverted.
Yeah.
And it was a thriving town.
So it's so interesting to see that and to walk around and see the remnants of any buildings that are left and to read some of the the signs that are there about all that. And we made memories that day. We actually took pictures, and I have those black and whites hanging in frames in one of the rooms of our house, because I can look at that and remember that's the day. And so that was we didn't stay overnight, I don't think. If we did, we were on our way somewhere else. But we spent time there. We ate lunch, and that cost gas, but we made memories there. Right. That was something different and unique that we did just together, hanging out.
Well, and we also, just one of those trips I remember going, we went to Windsor Ruins. If you remember that, just outside of Lorman, Mississippi, there close to Alcorn State, and it's just out there, and you make that little loop, and there's not much left except the big columns from where Windsor was there. And so you're right. It doesn't always have to be large trips. It's just making some memories, and we were talking about things like birthdays and celebrations and all that kind of stuff, making them big deals. Yeah.
And that's one thing I think our family has chose to do, and I love it, but we have chose to make birthdays, in our, even as our kids are adults now, try to make those a big deal. Not necessarily about spending, tons of money. We don't have a planner that comes in and plans these birthday events or anything like that. But we just try to do something with 4 kids and they have, lives now. It gets harder, but we all try to celebrate a birthday in our family. I know for Bree, for her 30th, I think it was, we did a picnic style, what's it called? Yeah, we had the low tables and we did it. It was in the house, but we did it was a really cool picnic style in the house with family and a couple of her close friends. Dixie and I, for ours last year, 50th and 30th, we went on a trip as a whole family. For yours, we've had the birthday party, the 80s birthday party, and that was so fun for your 50th, So we do, in our family, we do try to make celebrations and birthdays. We try to make them special and kind of make them a big deal. And I love that.
Yeah.
In our organization, if somebody asks off for our birthday, we automatically, I don't care what day of the week it is, and if we need them, we give them off for our birthday. When somebody doesn't ask off for their birthday, I'll text them, I'll say, happy birthday. Why in the world are you working today? Because I don't want them working. Just how I'm wired. I don't want them working.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had a big event, Mother's Day came and we had my mother over, your mother over, and my brother and his wife and our niece and her husband and our kids and grandkid. And so we'd love to celebrate and have big moments.
Yeah.
And I think, though, even in having moments, there's one important thing that we have to remember when you're having moments is that you have to be in the moment.
Yeah, that's the most important part. Yeah.
How important is it? I mean, just from your perspective, to really be in the moment. And what does that look like?
And I think I hope that this doesn't ruffle anybody's feathers, but I think for a female, it's really hard to be in the moment because sometimes we are. If it's a celebration, we're the ones a lot of times spearheading it and getting everything ready and making sure everything's in place and running the errands and doing all the things to make sure whatever it is that we're doing, maybe getting ready for Christmas or getting ready for Thanksgiving. It's hard for females especially probably to be in the moment because we're doing so much work and we're trying to make sure everything is perfect and excellent and that everything goes off with a hitch. So I think it's really hard sometimes for, and it could be that the man, the daddy, the whoever in the family is the planner, but I'm going to venture a guess that more than not, it's the female. Do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know for Mother's Day you try to help and you try to organize things, and
it still sucks because I'm not really. That's not my strong suit. Because
it doesn't suck. It's great.
On Saturday, she's saying, "Let me see your list of what you got to make sure you didn't forget anything." And I said,
"I got 20 people coming to my house." I'm like, "Where's the list, buddy?"
I said, "No, you're not seeing the list." And she's like, "I need to see the list." And I'm like, "No, you're going to see the list."
And I know why you didn't let me see the list because there was no list.
There was a list. I already had it taken care of.
Yeah.
Have you seen all the TikToks? And I'm sure you have. I think I've sent you one or two. It's that we have family coming over, and this is my husband, and the husband is outside like blowing grass, or he just finished weed eating or whatever, and it's one of those things like the priority of what
or cleaning out the garage. Yeah, that's more accurate. Cleaning out the garage.
Doing stuff that you'd think the wife's in there thinking, oh my God, this is stupid. Why are you not in here? But you do have to be in the moment and be present. And again, I'm going to say this, and I hope that I don't want this to sound judgy because I don't mean it that way. I went off of social media for, a year and a half? Completely. Yeah. I completely went away with it 100%. And it was not easy for a while, but then it got easy and I didn't care anymore because then you would ask me, have you seen? I'm like, do you know? And I was like, nope. And I said, I'm the most ignorant, uninformed man right now you've ever met.
Yeah.
And so what it did was
California could have fallen in the ocean and you would not have had a clue.
I would not have known or at all. And so I don't say that to be like, ooh, wow, you did a year and a half. That's not the point. So the point is that we went to a Stevie Nicks concert. I remember going to the Atlanta Alpharetta Theater. It was super cool. That's one of your favorite artists.
Yeah.
And we were able to go, and we sat right there real close. And then all I noticed, and this sounds judgy, and I don't mean it that way because I just had never noticed it before because I probably was the same person. All I noticed is that 90% of everybody in that concert had their phone filming videos of the concert.
Yeah.
Or one we went to not too long ago, the guy in front of us was Snapchatting every song that who was it we saw? Hank Williams.
It was a terrible concert.
I love Bocephus, but the concert was not.
I know
good.
You do, and it was not
good, bro.
Yeah, but he was Snapchatting
every song,
clip of every
And so it was one of those things. So for the first time in my life, I realized, first of all, like they weren't in the moment.
Yeah,
you couldn't appreciate being in the concert. In the atmosphere, and we saw Maverick City. I remember seeing that same concept in Kirk Franklin, and you can't be in the moment if you're videoing the moment. And so what it did for me was it made me appreciate sometimes being in the moment, and I'd never seen that before until I put my phone up and did that.
Yeah, and I will say this, and I hope it's okay. You know, I hope you kind of admit that you had a little bit of a phone problem.
I would never admit that.
Well, it was a big phone problem, actually. And I know that it just drove me crazy, but it is funny that whenever you stopped doing all that, you realized how much time you wasted on your phone and how much you were not usually in the moment. But then it did make you hyper aware of that. When, we've chosen to try to be in the moment when we go eat together. But then it makes you hyper aware, and it does probably make you a little judgy when you look around the restaurant and everybody's on their phones the whole time. And so, and it's just that you realize I think I realized I saw a lady in a restaurant with her children, and they had their iPads out, and she was on her phone the whole time. And now, though, it's so hard, and I know it sounds judgy, but being 50 and not having littles anymore, I'm thinking, oh gosh, you're just like, and it was I did not see them speak a word to each other. And I thought, gosh, you're just, I know everybody says that one day, but it is, I mean, really one day you're going to, wish that when you were around the table together, because you may not get those moments. They may go off to college and you may not see them, but twice a year, or whatever, you really do need to take in some of those moments. And I understand that maybe she had a long day at work and she needed to decompress, because I get it. When I've had a rough time, 10 minutes of TikTok is sometimes my decompress, and I'm finding other ways now, but that was for a while. That was mine. So I really am not trying to be judgy, but that's the deal. It's just sometimes you probably don't realize how caught up in being distracted or being on your phone, how it robs you of being in the moment and, and making those memories. Talking about meals, we try to not be on our phone during meals, and, and it matters a lot. Sometimes I do have mine because I have something going on, and and I've explained to you, like, I've got this going on. I really can't put my phone up.
It's more important than me. I get it.
Yeah, it's more important than you. But I've been to I had a friend, and every time we would go to lunch, now I'm setting aside my time. I'm scheduling my time to come to lunch with you or to go to dinner with you, and she was on her phone the whole time. And finally, and I know, and we talked about just a second ago being you and saying things, whatever. And I thought, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to say it in love. And I said, I'm not going to schedule any more time with you if you're on your phone the whole time that we are at lunch or at dinner. And so if we're going to have time as friends at lunch or dinner, then I need you to put your phone up. And because I don't even feel like that I'm here. So you could be at dinner with yourself if you're going to be on, the phone the whole time. Because if you know anything about me, I am very I guard my time, and so if I'm going to go out to dinner with you for 2 hours and watch you be on your phone, I'm not doing it.
Right.
And it's as simple as that. I'm just not doing it.
Well,
yeah. I'm not saying you can't pick it up, because I have one friend who I love dearly, and she runs their whole livelihood. She has to run it from her phone sometimes. So when she steps away, she still has to carry her phone. When she takes calls, like, I get it, but she's not scrolling social media the whole time we're together, because that really gets on my nerves. Because, like, I need to feel important to you and valued, and not feel that Facebook is more important than me when I'm with you.
Well, and that's one thing that even when I came back, I made a discipline of when we have lunch, specifically, and dinner too, when we're at home, I will leave my phone in the other room.
Yeah.
I don't turn it upside down, because if again, everybody's like, well, they're judging the crap. No, we're not. We're just talking about what we do. Okay. But, like, even sometimes going out to dinner with people, I hate even having my phone in my hand to even turn it upside down.
Yeah, and I do. And I will, and because we're different, I will take mine and turn mine upside down usually. And if they're super boring and they're checked out, then I'll get on my phone.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm saying I'd even hate having it out there, because I don't want them to think that even is a thing. But if I have my phone when I'm with somebody else, I always turn it upside down.
Yeah.
And because I want them to know, you have me.
Yeah.
You have me. And me putting my phone in the other room is when we ate a turkey sandwich yesterday. Boy, that sounds great, right? I ate a turkey sandwich on gluten-free bread. I know that sounds yummy to everybody listening right now, especially to foodies. But I left my phone in the other room, because as silly as it is, we're eating a turkey sandwich. You have me. For that time that we're together, and as fast as I can eat it, that's how much time you have with me. But it goes back to valuing relationships. Mm-hmm. Valuing the relationships that you have. And I think that really is the crux of making memories and having moments that you can go back and point to, is valuing the people you're with. And like your friend, and she wasn't a bad person. It's just that she had gotten caught up in, just like all of us do, other people's lives. You know, we're with somebody who's live, but we're concerned about what somebody else that we don't really know or care about is doing, and valuing those relationships. You know, because I think about my marriage. I think about my kids. There was a guy that we knew. I saw on Facebook this morning that he passed away, and you know, we weren't close friends. We were acquaintances and had probably spent a little time together. But somebody who made plans yesterday died today.
Yeah, because he's younger than you.
Right. Yeah. They died today. And so you don't know when that last moment is. And I'm not trying to be morbid and thinking everybody getting depressed and down, thinking, oh, crap. I'm just saying, you value the relationship that's in front of you versus what's on your phone.
All right.
And I think that's really where I'm at, is that you honor the person by giving them your divided attention. You know,
undivided.
Yeah, undivided, not divided. Yeah, that's what you do if you give them your undivided attention. So anyway,
so I think one thing that you can do sometimes to stay in the moment is you may have to simplify some things. You may have to simplify your life or simplify your time together. Sometimes, like me, if I'm spending my whole time out on the grill cooking and getting everything ready, and everybody's coming over, then I can't be in that moment. However, if, like what we did for Mother's Day, we ordered the meat from, let me tell y'all, let me just stop right here. If you have never had the brisket from Agave
in New Albany,
you truly do not know what you're missing. I believe it is some of the best, if not the best. And I have other barbecue friends, and I love them, and they have great things on their menu that's the best of the best. But the brisket at Agave in New Albany is probably some of the best brisket I've ever eaten. And so we order brisket from Mo. Mo's our friend that owns Agave. We order brisket from Mo quite frequently, but we ordered brisket so that we weren't standing there cooking something the whole time, that celebration. But even birthday parties, sometimes I know, especially now with social media, we're trying to do everything we can do to make everything look perfect and be perfect, and the pictures to be perfect, that it's so hard to be in the moment. And sometimes we just may need to simplify and say, okay, this is my kid's 16th birthday party. I'm just going to even let somebody else handle it. Whatever I can do to be in the moment. My regrets on the girls' weddings is doing everything myself just because I could, because I was not able to be in the moment. I think back to Dixie's wedding. It was crazy. It's kind of funny, but I was trying to manage pulling off her wedding, and I wasn't living here all the time then. We had a business in Oxford, and I was having to live in Oxford part-time. It was awful. So, this in March, I bought Mother of the Bride dress, and it fit. It fit in March, okay?
This is a great story.
So I am trying to pull off this wedding where I'm doing everything. I'm doing cake, I'm doing flowers, I'm doing the whole 9 yards. And I am so stressed because I am absolutely not in the moment. I'm not enjoying that my daughter's about to get married, and, wherever that was, 6-8 weeks is what I had left from that time. It was nothing but go and stress until the day of the wedding. And the day of the wedding was even super stressful. It rained worse than it's ever rained. Businesses were flooded, and we had the wedding outside. Yeah, it was awesome. So, I go to put on the Mother of the Bride dress. I tell you, we go in the bathroom there. I mean, it's countdown time. I've been fooling with the cake.
We're about to walk her out.
Yes. And you said, this dress won't zip. And I said, what? You said, this dress won't zip. And I said, let me tell you something. If you want to stay married, your life depends and your marriage depends on you. Better get this dress zipped any way you can, but you better get the dress zipped. And it was, I don't know, so you had the Lord on your side.
I was calling on God, Lord, if you've ever wanted something to zip, God, I ask you just to let it zip easy.
Yeah, but
zip.
And it wasn't a good look, and I don't love the pictures. But the point is that I packed. I was so stressed that I did nothing but pack on weight.
Yeah.
Those 2 months, and that's so the dress that fit in March no longer fit in May. That's how stressed I was. Just, I don't know what, but I couldn't be in the moment. I couldn't enjoy things because of what I had done to myself. And so sometimes we just need to scale back and simplify things so that we can enjoy that. When I look back at Dixie's wedding, I wish that I had, and it was beautiful. It was still beautiful. The pictures were beautiful, but I wish that I had a little bit different outlook on it, but I did it to myself,
right.
And so sometimes we need to simplify things just so that we can be in the moment, because you will not look back later and say, I'm so glad I worked myself to death, and that's all I remember is working myself to death for whatever it was, instead of I remembered this and that and it was special.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I asked you that yesterday because we were talking about simplifying, is that, sometimes just, and I know this is just whatever, but sometimes just go get a pizza.
Yeah.
And we're just going to chill and hang, and we're going to spend time together. And I asked you about your grandmother. I said, remember one of the best memories you had with your grandmother? And you said, yeah, I can remember that. I said, it wasn't pomp and circumstance.
Right.
It was simple.
Yeah.
And you were in the moment, and it was simple. And your best memories and your best moments are made sometimes in simplicity. They really are. And it's because you're in the moment. And I get it, man. We live in a fast world, and we won't. I love that video y'all sent us the other day of this prom. People, they were driving. These kids are driving G-wagons.
They come in on some kind of on a helicopter. So cool, and crazy, and wild.
I mean, I get it. The wow factor on that stuff is awesome. But can you imagine what those parents went through to get them there? Like, there's no simplicity. You got a cool picture, but man, I don't know about moments. I don't know about memories, stressful memories.
I don't know. That
maybe.
One's probably. I don't know.
That's
something to remember, though. I'll probably remember those kids' prom. I didn't even go to that prom. I didn't even in my country.
But I think it's important to be in the moment,
right?
And I think eliminating distractions, whatever that is, simplifying. We've even talked about this. You don't watch sports. You'll watch them with me, but you don't watch sports. But we've even caught ourselves going to maybe this little dive bar, or you go to somewhere that has TVs up or whatever, and I'm looking here, and there's nothing, but over my shoulder's a TV that has like hockey on, and I constantly you're watching hockey, and I'm like, what are you doing? You said, I said, well, what's on? I don't even. Looks like hockey. Like, it's a distraction.
It is.
So you try to eliminate whatever distractions there are. Whether it's your phone, TVs, those type things. I've caught myself before. If Ole Miss is playing baseball, which that's over now, Mississippi State put us out of our misery last night. Having a ball game on when we have events at home, because I don't want to miss the ball game too. But we got this birthday party, but and trying to eliminate distractions, and I think that's important. And I think it's just important to go back and know. We can finish with this now. I want you to talk about this as we finish, but you only have so many chances to make memories.
Yeah.
And somebody posted this the other day, and I found it, and I thought it was really good. For your kids, just use them as examples. You only have maybe 10 times to play Santa before they find out about Santa. You only have maybe 12 spring breaks. You have 13 first days of school. 6 months of maybe getting their driver's permit and teaching them how to drive before you turn them loose. Good gracious.
Oh, yeah. That's a memory I can forget.
Maybe 10 or 12 Easter baskets.
Yeah.
You may have 16, 20 loose teeth. I don't know how many teeth there are, but to play Tooth Fairy, you can give them, I think it's now $20. It used to be $1 or $5, but I think it's 20 now. You only have one first date. Mm-hmm. 2 proms maybe. 1 graduation if they don't go to college. Then you have 1 time sending them off to college. You got 1 chance to teach them to be good human beings. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like when you really quantify, I've got 10 chances, and this really just like hit me.
Yeah.
You've got 10 chances to love on that kid for Christmas.
Yeah.
And just have fun with them. Man, that just really just gets in you.
It's because of our age, because we know now. I think that's some of it too. When you look, our age, it really hits home.
It does.
So, yeah.
It does. Because the statement to the rest of that was that the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
Until I never realized, man, I don't know why I get so emotional, but good gracious. I never realized how important it was to go see my mom and dad. Until we're sitting at home by ourselves.
Yeah.
And happy if one of our kids just stops by.
Yeah.
So like it's making memories and moments is so important because at the end of your life, nobody cares what you drive. Nobody cares what house you lived in. You're going in the same box, maybe a little bit nicer, but you're going in the same box in the same ground that everybody else is going into. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that remains is your memories and the moments that you've created. Mm-hmm. And I have made a discipline. We talk about not getting on your phone too much, but I've made this one discipline in my life. Everywhere we have been, I take a selfie with you to document we've been there so that we can always have those memories together.
You remember that day? That was a good day. Yeah.
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 Yeah, you remember that day. You remember that day? That was the day we fought.
Over where were you going to eat because you waited too long. Yeah.
But again, there are just milestones that are so important, and I get it. We're not judging. We have made mistakes with our families and not been in the moment. We've made mistakes with people and not valued relationships. But the older we get, the more important and clearly we can see it's to value the people that are in front of you.
Yeah.
And never take them for granted because you don't know what tomorrow holds. So, any final words?
No, I think that's great. Just and just try it. Just try a month of cutting back the distractions and seeing what that looks like for you. If you're hearing some of this saying, man, that's me, it is so hard to enjoy the moment sometimes, then I just challenge you to cut back some of the distractions and take a month of living in the moment, whether it's even just dinner at home that you picked up from Chick-fil-A or whatever with no distractions if that's not normal for you, and just see what that feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll be amazed at what really transpires.
Yeah.
So, hey, guys, thank you so much for listening. And got a little emotional there at the end. My wife started kind of tearing up, makes me tear up, and we just have a big old cry fest, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. We encourage you, get in the flow of life and find people who are going your way that you want to go. Hop in there and flow with them, and you'll see what crazy things can happen in your life. Thanks for listening.
Hey. Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better.